Well, thank you for doing this interview with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Huntington Beach, California. I have a passion for film, fashion, and I like traveling, and I kind of put both of those two together and I put it on my Instagram.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so describe your experience with how your social media following has contributed to your travels.
I think, like I said, I really like film, so I think that whenever I go on vacation, I really like to take photos, even not like on my everyday life. I like taking pictures, or I like taking videos of things, and I think it's cool how you can look back and like cherish those memories, because I know that it's always like gonna be in your head, but I think it's cool just to like be like, oh, look at how cool, like I went to the Grand Canyon and I was talking about it to someone and I was like, look at how like blue the water was, because we hiked down to like the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and I was like, it was so cool, and you can just like look back and be like, yeah, like this was amazing. So yeah.
That's cool. So do you feel like your social media presence regarding travel affects the way people would go about traveling?
Like me or like everyone? Like, do you think do you think like people who are like travel bloggers, or just like me specifically?
Well,
or like all of us?
I'm focusing more on you.
Okay.
How you go about it, and if it would affect the way people would go about traveling.
Like in a negative way or a positive way, or both?
Just however you think.
Okay. I think that I would hope that people aren't affected in a negative way, because that would be bad. I think sometimes I feel like a lot of people message, or like when I was traveling like often, people messaged me on Instagram and they were like, how can you do that? Like, I can't believe you went to Thailand. Like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Which in reality, we found the cheapest flight to Thailand. It was like $400 round trip. Nicole knows this because she's my friend, but I had a 19-hour layover on the way home, and we backpacked in Thailand. The first night, I think our hostel, we stayed in like hostels mainly, and like when people hear hostels, they think like you're sharing bunk beds in like a room with like 50 people or something insane. But there's hostels, and a lot of times they have hostels with like private rooms. So if you're like traveling, I totally recommend doing that, like looking up a hostel, like if you're just going like with a significant other or your friends or whatever. I recommend doing that, because just because it has the word like hostel, you still have your own bathroom, or sometimes you even share a bathroom, but you're barely in the hotel. I barely am in a hotel when I'm traveling, so I don't really care that much. But basically, every night I would say our hotels were like $7, like maybe $5. And we went to Thailand, but it's like, sometimes like you were dirty. Like we felt kind of gross some days, because we have this giant backpacking backpack. We're walking everywhere. We're staying in these super cheap like hostels where our backs are like aching. But it was so cool, and honestly like one of my favorite trips. And same with the Grand Canyon one that I just told you about. Like we hiked 13 miles down and hiked like 13 miles back up, and you're like sleeping on the floor and like roughing it out, and you're like camping, which is fine. Like I like camping too, but it's not like these things are like so like amazing, and like you see the things on Instagram, you're like, whoa, that looks so cool, but I mean not everything is perfect, you know? People only post the good things on Instagram. So I would hope, sorry.
Okay.
I would hope that people see these things and they're like, oh wow, that's awesome, and I really want to go explore and travel and see like the world through my eyes, not seeing it through like a phone. I would hope people would want to do it in that aspect. I hope people don't see it and be like, wow, look at this chick. Why is she traveling, and make some negative remarks about it. I hope it comes out in a positive way.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know about the hostels it could be private rooms.
Yeah.
I really didn't know that. And
Yeah.
so how do you find those cheap hostel deals? Like, how do you find deals like that?
I use just different apps. I usually use booking.com, and there's an app. I usually just use the app. I usually find the best deals on booking.com. Hostel wise, it's like Hostel World, I believe.
Oh.
Everything I use is always on my phone. I have like 5 different apps, and most of the time I just use Booking. Maybe Airbnb, not often, but a lot of people swear by it. But yeah, I feel like I usually use Booking, and then I just honestly, like, especially when I was living abroad and I had like not that much money at all, I would put like Amsterdam, for instance, and then you can search, like put the filter or like the sorting options, and I put price lowest to highest, so it would just put like the cheapest hotel, and then I'd go through, I'd check the reviews, and I'd check like the areas, and then I would check that it's a safe area, usually on like TripAdvisor or something, because most of the time when I'm traveling, I'm not staying in the hotel like that much. I'm usually just there to sleep and for like my stuff to be there, like to store my stuff. So as long as I was sleeping in a safe area, I didn't really care. Because I don't know, there's been other times, for example, I went to Italy and we had to stay in a hotel. I believe it was Pisa, maybe it was Naples, I don't know. It was somewhere as we were just stopping by, and we had to just sleep somewhere overnight. And I found this hotel, and it was like, oh, this looks really nice. It was cheap, and the reviews were like awful. They were saying how people get mugged outside a lot. They like heard like people like they just like heard like bad things going on. So I'm like, okay. And there's multiple reviews of that, and I was like, if I just looked at the photos, I would have booked it. All the reviews are bad, and then I looked it up, and the area that I was in was like awful. So I feel like just be like careful and conscious about where you're staying.
That's good to know. Yeah, I always check the reviews too, because looks can be deceiving.
True.
So. Yeah, so what brands have you worked with, and how do they approach you with collaborating?
I feel like it just depends, it varies. I put, like, back in the day, it would, like, when I first started, like, doing Instagram and, like, taking it more seriously. I don't really take it that seriously anymore, but I think when I lived abroad, I took it pretty seriously, and I'd focus all of my Instagram photos just on traveling. Like, I wouldn't post anything else. Even now, I'm so picky about what I post on my Instagram. I feel like I have to make it, like, perfect, and it sounds so first world problems and so annoying, but I just think it's cool. I think it's cool how I just like making things look pretty and organized, and I think it's cool how you can like share your creativity, even if it's just like a selfie. It might sound stupid, but like if it looks cool, if you're into photography, then why not? Like, if someone's hating on it, tell them to shut up. They probably like something that you don't like. Like, everyone's into something like different, so if someone's into Instagram, then good for them.
So what brands have you worked with, and how do they approach you with collaborating?
I think it's different every single time. I think that sometimes they either like, I post a photo and then people comment on it saying, hey, can you message us and we'd like to send you something. Other times there's been people just like sliding into the DMs or people just message me on Instagram. And then I just recently, or maybe about a year ago, I put my email up on my Instagram. So sometimes I get an email, but like not very often, like maybe like a couple a month. And then sometimes I reach out to companies, just depending on what it is. I don't have like a huge following, so I feel like, I guess maybe so nervous to ask people to do that. Because I know like that's, well, people who like take blogging like seriously and make that their full-time job, I know that's obviously what they're doing nonstop. They're like collaborating and messaging different companies. But yeah, I messaged companies last year when it was Coachella, and I just said I saw other people doing it who had about the same amount of followers as I did. So I thought, you know what? Why not? I have nothing to lose, only something to gain from it. So I just messaged a couple people and I said, hey, I'm going to Coachella. If you wanna like send me like clothes, I'll take photos. Because it might sound kind of lame, but I don't know, when you're at Coachella, or like even just like me, you know, I take taking photos kind of seriously. So I kind of get like the blogger aspect, like I kind of get it, because they probably, that's like their job. So they take those photos like super seriously. Like I do it just because I enjoy it and I like taking a nice photo. But I mean, if it's like, if that's your job, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they're doing work, they're putting in time. They could be missing their favorite artist to get a good golden light sunset picture, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But most of the time I feel like people just message me, and then if I like it, I'll just say sure. But then if I don't really like it, I usually just say it's okay. Sometimes, a lot of times recently though, people comment on my photos and they say, hey, can you message me on Instagram and we want to send you clothes? And I'm like, okay, sure. So I message them and I just say, hey, you commented on my photo, yada, yada, yada. And they say, yeah, we'd like to send you some clothes for 20% off. So they want me to buy the clothes and then take pictures in it. And I'm like, I don't think that's really like a fair trade. You want me to buy something to like promote it and take time out of my day to get ready. And I know some people are probably like, wow, you're taking a picture, big deal. But it's like, if you have to work or something and you have to go take time out of your free time to go to the beach to take some swimsuit picture and like get ready for it, and then afterwards go through them all and like edit them and everything, it's like, why am I gonna pay a company? So I don't think it's like a really fair trade in my opinion. But yeah, I usually don't do that. Or actually I've never done that. So I usually just do for fair trade. But yeah.
So you're saying that normally the brands that reach out to you are like fashion brands, clothing brands?
Yeah. A couple times people have messaged me saying that they'll give me like a free stay in their hotel, which is cool, but it's usually like a place I don't have planned to go travel to. Like there's been like a couple places in South America, and I've never been to South America, and I don't have any plans to as of now, but yeah, it'd be cool if I did go there. I also I was in this group of people who like to travel like me and post travel photos on Instagram, and we were just like in this like WhatsApp group, and we were all discussing like things that we like to do. And one of the people in there was a suitcase company, so they sent me a suitcase. And actually, one of these girls that I follow that she's like a YouTuber or something, she posted a photo with their suitcase, the same one that they sent me, but she didn't tag them. And I saw all these people commenting on it saying, where's your suitcase from? Where's your suitcase from? So I just commented on it and tagged the suitcase company, and I was like, oh, I have the same one. And then the company reached out to me and said, oh, like I'm gonna send you a suitcase, and just because I tagged them.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're gonna send me another suitcase, so I should be getting that this week, but I thought that was nice of them. But I mean, I was just being nice because it's like, it's gonna give them business. All these people were commenting saying, where's this from? Where's this from? Mm-hmm. And the girl should have tagged it. She tagged like all of her clothes, but she didn't tag the suitcase. So I'm like, that's shitty. And if it was my company, I'd want someone to like let them know too, you know? So, yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. Let's see. So how do you go about getting a larger engagement with followers and likes on Instagram?
Well, first of all, Instagram sucks and the algorithm is messed up, honestly.
That is true.
Yeah. Like I said, like I just like doing Instagram for fun, but I know friends or like good acquaintances that take it pretty seriously, and they're extremely mad because some of them, this is like their income, and
Yeah.
Instagram changed like the chronological order. And even, I kind of talked about this with someone recently. I'd say, when did we go to Paris? Like 2 years ago?
We went to Paris,
2017.
July 2017.
That summer, I would say that my engagement was the best. I was also traveling a lot more, and I feel like those photos get the most likes, which is weird. Sometimes I feel like I can't post photos of something because it doesn't get that many likes. Like, it sounds really stupid, but I feel like there's certain things that get more likes than other things, which is really stupid. It's like, I posted a photo of like a sunset or a palm tree, and it might get X amount of likes, but then I post a photo of me in front of the Eiffel Tower, and then it gets like X amount of likes. So it's like really confusing. And I guess if that's your full-time job, then that is awful, but I think that you should just post whatever you like. Honestly, like, I think it's cool if you get likes and everyone cares about that, and if that's your job, good for you. But if you like something, I don't even think you should care about the likes. I think you should just post what you want. If you like cats, post a photo of your cat. If you like video games, go post your Fortnite video game. Like, cool, I just got a new Xbox controller. Like, it's your life, it's your Instagram, because you're Instagramming your life, you know? It's like, it's your life, so I don't think you should care about likes. I think you should just post what you like. And personally, I like posting things that go aesthetically with my feed most of the time.
Yeah.
So, and I like that. And I guess that's kind of maybe going against what I'm saying in a way, because I don't post everything. But I'm not gonna lie, on my story I post a lot, and I usually just post what's going on in my life. But as for my feed, I just think it just looks pretty when you have like a nice looking Instagram feed. So I like that. So if you just like something, just post what you want. Just do whatever makes you happy.
Inspirational.
Thank you.
So, what travel tips do you have for any fellow young adults who are interested in doing what you do?
Okay. I think that if you want to go somewhere, you should save your pennies and you should go there. I think that, if you want to go somewhere, just make it happen. We're young once, and if you have the time, like if you're in school, like go during your break. Like, especially like while we're young and before like you start settling down with like a super full-time job where you can't take time off, and before you have kids. And not saying that you can't travel when you have kids, but it's gonna be different, I guess. It's gonna be different when you have children versus when you're young. And like, I don't know, we have social media now, so it's so different than maybe when our parents were our age or something. And you see all these places on your phone, and I think it kind of inspires people to travel, but I think just go out there and do it, and don't think about, oh my gosh, I can never go there because it's gonna cost so much money. Like, you can do it in a cheap way, and if you wanna go somewhere, figure out like the cheap way to do it. Find cheap flights. There's so many apps. There's this app called Travel Pirates. It's a website as well, and they post flight deals all the time, like every single day. It's like you can go in November to Bali for $300 from the Los Angeles area, and they post cheap flights like that. So like, find a group, find your destination, and then from there, figure everything out. Figure out, I need to save X amount of dollars, and I'm gonna stay in this. Like, you don't have to stay in fancy hotels. Like, just because you go somewhere doesn't mean you have to go to like fancy restaurants. Like, so many times while I'm traveling, I'm eating like McDonald's or like eating cheap food. And like, you don't want to eat McDonald's every day, but I think traveling is worth it, and I think it's cool seeing other people's like cultures. Of course, it's like if you're in Thailand, a lot of things are cheap or if you're in Italy, that's a better example. You don't want to eat McDonald's every day. You want to eat spaghetti, which you should. You should like experience their food and their culture. But yeah, things don't have to be expensive. And I think if you really want to do something while we're young, we should take the opportunities if we have the chance to.
That's good advice.
Thanks.
Okay, so is there anything else you would like to add about traveling and social media in general?
Yes, I think that you shouldn't compare yourself to anyone on social media, as hard as that is, because I do it myself. I see these chicks and I'm like, oh my god, why did I eat that whole pizza last night? I want to be like I want to look like this chick. And I do that like all the time. And then I tell myself like, why am I doing that? Like, everyone is different. Like, someone might look like this and someone might look like that. Like, everyone has different body types. And you should just focus on yourself being healthy, not comparing yourself to other people. And I'm guilty of that as well. Same with just like seeing someone live their life. Like, people post the good things on social media and people don't see the bad things. So I think when people are commenting on, people even comment on my photos, they're like saying things or like judging me or thinking that my life is perfect or something. And they're like, oh my gosh, she gets whatever she wants. And I do, like, I'm so grateful for the life that I live, and I'm grateful for opportunities that I've had. But there's also been things that don't work out in my favor, and things that don't work out the way that I want, and things that have been kind of shitty. But I don't go and post that on social media. I'm not posting, like, me crying or something. You know, I'm not posting myself in bed crying. I'm posting the times when I'm laughing and having fun with my friends or something. So it's kind of just like the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't be mean on Instagram to people saying or making judgments about someone, and don't I think you should just live your best life. And whatever you post on social media, it's like what I said before, that's your life. You should just post what makes you happy. As for traveling, I think that everyone should travel. I think it's cool. I think it's awesome to see different places, to experience different cultures. And yeah, it's like what I said before, like, it's cool seeing things on a phone, but it's even better to see it with your own eyes in person and to experience it yourself. And yeah, especially while we're young, I think that's like the best time to do it before you settle down with kids or you get a really good job where you can't take time off of work or something. I think it's cool to be able to travel and experience these type of things. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time to do this with me.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Is that all?
Yes.
Bye, guys.